Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2014 USBC Open Championship. This is Media Relations Manager Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith here behind lanes 53 and 54 at the National Bowling Stadium. Today, a special treat, the Fans' Choice. That's right, folks, we put it out to a vote back in February. We put up 4 great groups of bowlers and let the people decide who would they want to see this week here at the 2014 Open Championships, and they selected past Collegiate Player of the Year, Louis Franzetti, and international sensation Tim Mack, as well as the rest of their talented group. We'll have the lineup here for you in just a minute. Practice is just finishing and will be underway momentarily. Thanks for joining us today.
Jack, you got any medical conditions?
All right, folks, here we go. We are about to get underway here. First shot of the day, international star Tim Mack from Indianapolis. Looking to set the pace here for this talented team. They shot 32-61 last night in the team event, and looking to continue that momentum here in doubles and singles. Today we're bowling on a 40-foot sport bowling certified lane condition. That means the oil ratio from the outside to the middle within the 3-to-1 sport guidelines. No doubt over the years, this talented group has seen many challenging lane conditions. Tim Mack, of course, a world traveler, has found success on almost every continent. Again, Louis Franzetti, former Collegiate Player of the Year. John Bauerle made a run at 300 here last night, and he finished 3rd in regular all events back in 2010. Shot 22-25. Rest of the group, Michael Lish, Steve Lang, and Mark Sullivan. Aaron Smith has all their participation records. We'll have some details along the way. We'll be here for all 6 games. Doubles first, then 3 games of singles. Big numbers on top of the leaderboards now. We'll have those updates for you here in just a minute as well. New leaders as of last night in the doubles event. And Aaron was there to see it all happen.
Yes, just hours ago, Matt. Not too long from where we're at right now. It just about 9 hours ago, the father-son duo of Clark and Carl Holzer out of Arden Hills, Minnesota, put up a pretty solid number, 1465. That's actually higher than what won last year. 1440 was the score to beat in 2013. Looks like we had a patch fall off here. Manager on duty, Stephen Castle, taking care of business, making his live stream debut. But yes, a high-scoring effort last night during the 10:30 doubles and singles squad. The Polzers teammates, part of the Visionary 1 group out of Minnesota, all three doubles pairings are currently in the top 20. Along with the 1465, a 1354 and 1342 was also rolled on that same pair. So took care of business, kept me up late, and here we are again.
Well, we certainly are getting to that time of the year where we are jam-packed wall-to-wall just about every day here in April and May for sure. A lot of great bowlers on their way or already in the building. And we put this up for a vote again in February, and among the teams in the poll, of course, the group that we're watching right now and the group just to their right, the Back Hall Direct teams led by past Eagle winner Nick Hoagland. And the poll also included the Barta Nation, Adam Barta, Rob Gottschall. Those guys bowled just a few days ago and found their way into the top 10 in just about every event. And the final group on the poll was Derek O, former Team USA member, who's coming in this weekend. And he's got a 300 game here and runner-up finish in doubles. So 4 very talented groups on the poll, and the people chose. They wanted to see Tim Mack, who has a very short career here at the Open Championships, considering how long and how many miles he's traveled over the years. Just his 8th or 9th appearance total, and that includes a few years at the Masters even, when he was out on tour as an exempt player.
Yeah, this will be Tim's 9th appearance on the championship lanes. Last year had a pretty solid year, 2059, right here at the National Bowling Stadium. His career high back in 2005, 2119. That was for the Masters, so I should probably look closer next time.
All right, of course, folks, the way it works here is for the exempt players, or at one time the Touring 1 players, with the Masters in most of its years being held on the championship lanes. Players not eligible for the Open Championships would get participation credit for bowling in the Masters, and really that just means that it helps towards their Hall of Fame eligibility, as you need 20 years logged in to be eligible for a Hall of Fame. So of course, if you can't bowl in this event, the next best thing was to bowl in the Masters, get that year of credit. And Tim, as much as he's bowled and as many miles again as he's traveled, just a short career here, and really last year being the big comeback year for him. Of course, some injuries over the years, some shoulder problems, but back at it last year strong, and back here again with Indy, Roto, and Storm. Here's Louis Franzetti now on lane 54, the 1997-98 International Bowling Media Association Player of the Year. So very talented collegiate player. He said first at Rutgers actually is where he started, then went to William Patterson and got to bowl against, or alongside, John Asbeatty, the husband of course, longtime Team USA member Deandra Asbeatty. And back in my freshman year, John Asbeatty, first team All-American and Rookie of the Year. So those guys, certainly a great team back then. And talking to Lou yesterday, he said, and he posted it on Facebook last night as well, that the team event here at the Open Championships is by far his favorite 3 games of the entire year. And that's saying a lot. Just the feeling of walking down center aisle with your teammates and just the butterflies. It's always there, no matter how many years you've had in. And of course, it brings you back a little bit to those collegiate bowling days and the team atmosphere. And we saw that just last week across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. And a one-of-a-kind environment. Aaron, you've had a chance to bowl collegiately, and you spent the week there at that event. Can you describe the atmosphere and agree possibly that it's very similar to the team event here at the Open Championships?
No, I agree with you, Matt, and we've talked about before here on the live stream, just the same principles that are so important to be successful on the collegiate levels. Obviously bowling on the tougher conditions, especially today, the kids enjoy the tougher shots, and just the ability to communicate, talk about what's going on, knowing each other's games. You know, I like you said, I saw it for 3 straight days. The top collegiate programs going back and forth, and it was pretty awesome. Certainly, we have a good group of kids coming up to be the next big group here at the Open Championships. No reason the success on that level wouldn't turn into success here at the Open.
got a request in the chat room from Sean Petty. Thanks, Sean, for clearing that up before we address that. Thanks for tuning in, though. We do appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for being with us. And again, we just talked a minute ago about the new leaders in the doubles event. Of course, right now we're watching doubles, singles to follow. 1465, so the bar has been raised, and it's been on the move all week long. We saw a tie for the lead, Brian Wallachek and Robert Wiley, just last week, part of Adam Barter's group. Again, they were part of the Facebook poll that determined today's broadcast, but those guys tied the lead at 1378, held on for about 10 hours until their teammates, Mike Rose Jr. and Scott Pohl, posted 1403, and then last night, the Polzers, 1465, so certainly a big number here, well above last year's winning score of 1440. Of course, different lane conditions here in 2014. 43 feet for the team event, 40-foot sports certified pattern for doubles and singles. And again, the bar's been creeping up a little bit at a time. Not so many big scores in doubles. We saw Anthony the Cause really blast them individually in doubles. They made a run at the lead as well. The defending team all events champions, and the Cause took the regular all events lead 22-73, and he was steady in all three events. So again, one of the few bowlers we've really seen bowl exceptionally well in double. So 22-73, a monster on top of all events. Again, almost 50 pins ahead of last year's winning score of 22-28. It does seem like these things come in waves. We had some really good scores for a while, then we had some celebrations of longevity, and the scores seemed to die down for a minute, and then in the last 10 days or so, it's been pretty crazy. Of course, a new singles leader just the other day, the same day that the doubles lead changed hands twice. Lewis Jenkins Jr., 826 with a 300 game, and he followed up a disappointing doubles set, 527 on the very same pair. Of course, you ball all 6 games on the same pair of lanes, and he was just so frustrated after doubles, didn't know what to do. Actually chose to stay in the same place and throw the same ball, and the shot came to him clearly, shooting 826. So big numbers on top here, and you know, we're a couple months in now. We started February 28th, so it was only a matter of time before we were wall-to-wall bowlers and the big scores came. Of course, you have to expect to have a career day here at the Open Championships to take home an eagle. It's just kind of the standard. It's always been that way, and sometimes it's going to take a little bit more. This year, Mr. Smith found some success on the lanes as well. Big 600 plus in the team event for 1,700 all events total. So a nice improvement over the last couple of years, Mr. Smith.
Last 2 years at least.
Yeah. That's all you can ask for.
It's a start in the right direction. And you can kind of catch them on the left side of your screen. You mentioned participation. We have actually a gentleman who received a plaque for 50 years on the lanes last night. He's bowling doubles and singles right next to our feature pair here on 53 and 4. Bill Nesbitt out of Rossville, Georgia. He's back today for doubles and singles. We'll have his story up a little bit later today as well.
Yeah, Bill, the 172nd member of the 50-year club. And that may not sound like a big accomplishment, but that's 172 bowlers in 111 years of competition. Of course, we've been at this a while, and that number growing quite a bit in recent years, but 172 bowlers in 111 years, that is an awesome accomplishment. That is a short list. And we've had some great bowlers this week. Glenn Allison, Jimmy Schroeder, both members of the 60-year club, were in town to add to their career pinfall. Well over 100,000 for each of those gentlemen. And just so much to talk about the last 10 days, and we'll be here for the next few hours. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about these Indy Storm and Roto guys. Mike Lish having a bit of a rough start here. He's up on the left lane now, staring at the 710. He is yet to strike here. That is Tim Mack's doubles partner. Tim with 1 strike through 4 frames here. Gets that one wide right. And the lucky break.
The righty's best friend.
So Tim now with 2 strikes on the right lane. Everybody just trying to get comfortable again. This 40-foot sport certified lane condition, and had a chance to talk to Lou a little bit yesterday about their game plan, and it's pretty simple. The strategy at the Open Championships doesn't change too much from year to year, but their goal on this 40-foot pattern is to stay as far right as they're comfortable for as long as they can. So it's not a matter of everybody getting out of their comfort zone, but getting to the right to where they're still comfortable, able to throw good shots, and just play there, maybe ball down, and stay there for another minute before starting to creep left. And hopefully have some room to the right that they will have created earlier in the day. And we're starting to learn a lot about this Kegel Ice Oil. Of course, Kegel, the lane maintenance provider here at the Open Championships. And the transition with the Kegel Ice, which is designed to hold up a little bit longer, definitely takes longer than in previous years here on the championship lanes. And once you get the hang of that, and you start to have the idea that maybe the moves don't have to be made so soon. You know, you're trying to anticipate it based on the past, but it just doesn't happen so quickly. But the big challenge is that when it does happen, it happens big and quick. So there's as they say, there's a cliff out there at one point. So it's not a little bit move left, it's a big move. It's just a matter of picking the right time for that. And Aaron, you're right-handed. Maybe you can speak a little bit about that and what you saw personally as far as the transition here with the Kegel Ice Oil.
Well, Bat, throughout our team event, and granted we had 2 teams, didn't necessarily play them together so much as you see a lot of the great teams here. And I know a few folks say maybe that's not necessary as much this year. And 2 of our top 3 scores were shot without a crossing team. But I found that you know, as you talked about, just ball down. I started off with something a little bit stronger, a Roto Grip Defiant Soul for about the first game of team event. And then got to the point where that was getting a little flat on the back end, making its move. So I switched to something Pearl, something that got down the lane a little bit longer, stood up a little bit quicker. Granted, for me, that's still pretty slow. But then I was more or less, for team event, just able to stay in the same area for all 3 games and had the shot kind of open up. And then I had a real nice look by the last game, going 220s with an open in there. For doubles and singles, kind of went with something a little bit smoother. I ended up using that all 6 games, and even though my scores didn't necessarily reflect it, really never felt too lost out there. It was I paid for the bad shots a lot more on the doubles and singles pattern versus the team event, and I think quite a few folks will attest to that, the way scores have been. But there were only 1 or 2 moments where you had that moment, like you threw a good shot and it was like, whoa, where did that come from? But it was very gradual moves until almost the last game when I finally had to make a big jump in. And by then, even once again with their group kind of being sporadic, had a pretty nice look out there. It's just a matter of being able to repeat shots and catching a few hits when you can.
Well, you mentioned the 2 different patterns and team event being a little bit different this year. And the story is that the pattern is really there. There's no development necessary like in past years. Sometimes you want to play them together, break them down, but this year the argument is that it's there to begin with. So you can certainly get into your comfort zone, and there was some discussion, in fact, that maybe everybody playing in the same area is not the best option this year because of that. At least this way, you don't get that wet dry with everybody burning up the same spot. But if you're in different areas, perhaps you get the opportunity to make those little moves in the team event for sure. But definitely don't need to go out there with too much surface. We've heard that as well. And certainly a lot of adjustments being made in the squad room. Everybody sees the pattern up there and such. But team event a little bit different this year. Doubles and singles, I think that might be a little bit more necessary. And we saw it especially with Jan's HI, the team all events leaders. They put up a huge, huge number, 10,363. And they stayed pretty far right together, and they made little moves. They didn't have that huge transition, that huge cliff that we talked about earlier. They just they seemed to blend it out well. And Tim Damrow, who was the all events leader for a while there at 22-28, threw the same ball for 9 games. A little bit straighter, a little bit harder or faster speed, and threw a 0 gravity the entire 9 games, and just real smooth all the way through, especially on the fresh doubles and singles pattern, and the little moves there, and those guys kind of defied the logic and the odds a little bit, and had great success. And we've had a few close calls as far as chasing down that big number, a few 10,000s this year, but nobody has gotten there. Tim Mack doing his best to get his team there. And here's a look on 53 at John Bauerle. Interesting story about him back in 2010 when he did shoot that big all events number. His doubles partner didn't show up until the 8th frame. So to be able to keep his composure there and still throw good shots knowing that that doubles was out the window before you even got started, but he held it together and shot 22-25 and had a great run at it. But of course, Matt McNeil came in and set the all events record that year, 23-26, and Brett Wolf was second at 22-45. So Bauerle, very talented player from Indianapolis as well. All these guys from that general area in Indiana.
It's a good state. I'm a fan personally.
Good state. Aaron, a big fan of Indiana.
But yeah, Indy Roto Group and Indy Storm nearly identical yesterday. Indy Roto Group, which featured Mark Sullivan, Ed Frederick, Jeff Lowe, Steve Lang, and John Bauerle Jr., 32-66. Indy Storm with Lou Franzetti, Chris Dunham, Chris Curry, Mike Lish, Tim Mack, 32-61. So pretty even there.
Aaron, you mentioned Chris Dunham. He is to our right. He bowled a 300 game, one of 19 at the 2012 event in Baton Rouge, and all of these guys, great credentials and success over the years, and the people's choice. So the people asked and they got.
Speaking of Chris Dunham, 6 out of the first 7 to start here today. We're on 53 and 4. On 57 and 8 is the backhaul direct crew. Nick Hoagland, Steve Harmon, Jack Laffey, Brian Walker, Dylan Murphy.
Dylan Murphy also with a 300 game here at the Open Championships, and part of the crew that helps run the Hoosier Classic. And we were there actually the last 2 years. I was there, and this year joined by Emil Williams Jr., last year by Aaron Smith. And great event there. The backhaul direct folks, hard working in the industry, and especially in the lane conditions area. Nick Hoagland, long time PBA lane guy, of course champion here at the Open Championship. So this vote could have gone either way, and if we had more cameras, certainly we would like to show that group, but we'll keep you posted. They had a big number yesterday afternoon, so well over 3,300, made a run at the top 10.
33-37 to be exact.
A little bit of a stutter there. Murphy, I saw him earlier, and he was a little disappointed in his performance. Gave him 550. Thought it should have been a lot more. But that does happen. That's why it's a team event. Pick each other up. And they're going to go home happy with that number.
Yeah, Dylan struggled out of the gates. 146, bounce back, 192, 213. Steve Harmon was high in the group, former PBA exempt player, 716. Brian Walker, 697. Nick Hoagland, 691. Jack Laffey, 682. So
those guys made a run at team all events last year. Jack Laffey also tried to track down the all events number. But right now, it's all about Indy, Roto, and Storm. Tim Mack looking for his first double here in doubles. And his partner, Mike Lish, has found something after going 0 for 5. Has come back with 3 in a row. Certainly, team all events, while still possible, a far, far reach. That just goes to show you how big that number is. And these guys come in at 32.61, knowing they're going to have to do quite a bit of work to get there.
Yeah, that is a big 10,000 early on. Even teams, obviously we've seen a few teams in the right around 3,500, a few above, a few very close to it. That is a lot of work, especially on this doubles and singles pattern where you kind of have to have a little bit of patience out of the gates to let the lanes develop.
These guys coming into today need to average more than 236 for their 6 games of doubles and singles to get to that number.
That's kind of weird how certain teams just happen to match up and find that right chemistry, that right look on this doubles and singles pattern. Even yesterday, we talked about them a lot. Clark and Carl Polzer's group, the Visionary 1 team, yesterday on the team event, they shot 30-78, I believe is the exact number. They come back in doubles, they were 3,400 plus as their team. So, and they ended up using that to get all the way up to 9,800 and change for team all events. So obviously a solid effort. Carl led the way, going 21.55, a career best for him in 9 tournaments, to move into the top 10 of regular all events.
Well, and Aaron, with the equipment that's out there and the way that the event has evolved, of course, the new standards are out there, and you have to come out expecting to shoot certain numbers to be in contention here at the Open Championships. And you know, some years are going to be a little bit lower scoring, like Baton Rouge just happened to be. And of course, last year we thought, you know, with some of the numbers we saw, that it would be high scoring as well. But the singles winner, Zeke Bate, only 795. So I think some things have changed in recent years. For example, going to fresh oil for every squad has changed things a little bit. It makes doubles a little more challenging for sure. That number last year, 1440, not far from there so far here in 2014. Then of course, staying on the same pair for all 6 games. A little bit different than in the past where you'd flip-flop to the pair next to you. And a couple of miscues here. That's back-to-back single pin misses for Bauerle. So these guys struggling a little bit here in game 1. Again, the fresh oil for every squad. And 6 on a pair starting last year compared to just 4 on a pair in the past. So the tournament certainly evolving. But with the new standard, I think in team all events is going to be that 10,000 number. We've always been pretty close to that, at least in my career here. And for all events, 2,200 or better for sure. Singles, you got to expect to be around the 800 mark. And doubles, right now with the fresh oil, probably between 1,450 and 1,500 every time around. So if you're going to have that career day, this certainly is the place to do it. Once again, this is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. We're live at the National Bowling Stadium in 2014 USBC Open Championships. This year's winners of the first Open Championships live stream poll. Indy Roto and Storm, led by international star Tim Mack, former collegiate player Louis Franzetti. We do appreciate everybody joining us. Chris Hester, get well soon, sir. Chris, a little bit under the weather the last couple of days, so he's at home resting and tuning in to Bowl TV. We do appreciate it. This is just one of almost 30 broadcasts from Reno this year between the Open and Women's Championships. Our next broadcast actually will be happening from the USBC Women's Championships on May 3rd. So we'll be across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Going to mix it up a little bit. But we'll bring it to you live here on Bowl TV. And if you want to see the rest of that schedule, you can visit bowl.com. Down on the right side of the main page will be all of the upcoming live stream events.
All or nothing right now for Bauerle and Franzetti. Not enjoying spares right now. A lot of strikes, but unable to capitalize. Leaving some splits here, a few single pins. Let's see if they can make a run here.
Well, Lou with a big set last night in the team event had to feel pretty good with the confidence coming in today.
733 for Lou. John hit 671 with a big middle game. Actually started with the front 9 strikes before leaving an 8 count. Had the 3-6 standing. Finished for 277 that game, so games 1 and 3. A little more of a grind out for John, but had the big middle game.
Again, these guys need to average more than 236 today. Of course, shot at team all events. Lish, after 4 in a row, gets that one left, leaves the 3-pin. Didn't like it off his hand. So really, Steve Lang, the only one who's looking comfortable here in game number 1. Good shot there from Tim Mack. Lish could finish things up here with 182 to Mack, possible 197. So 1465 in the distance at this point here after game number 1.
Yeah, that 1465, it was one of those things where I don't know how to explain it, but you kind of knew they were taking the lead. It was just a matter of by how much. They needed right around 450. Carl and Clark Holzer going into the last game. Carl, the son of the family, started the final game of the front 8. His father Clark goes front 4 strikes. He had 5 out of the first 6, and they were coasting. It was just a matter of how much at one point.
Well, always nice to be in that position to just wonder, not if you're going to take the lead, but by how much. It certainly has to loosen up the arm swing a little bit, I would think, rather than having to press, knowing that you need, X number of strikes to get there. Of course, everybody just wants the opportunity to be in that position.
Sullivan mixes him up there. So it's 180 out there. Steve Lang, 230 is still possible.
.77 for Lish, 187 for Tim Mack. Great shot there from Lang, so he'll be in the 230s. Just has to stay behind the foul line.
236 in the books for Steve Lang. He's going to be high on our feature pair here to start. There are some big scores around us. We see 257 Chris Curry, Chris Dunham 230s, Jeff Clark 260s. Just tough to get both guys going on. It's been the big thing right now.
Yeah, those guys, you match them up differently, and we're looking at some big numbers. But of course, that's all part of the challenge. You got to find the right guys who are going to get hot or get comfortable together. And Franzetti, big 4 here in the 10th. He is not happy. He and Bauerle struggling here in the opener. Talked to Lou again a little bit yesterday, and they've been in town a few days, and the goal is to kind of have a little bit of fun and do a little bit of work at the same time. They went to a Reno Aces game. It was about 40 degrees out there that night, but still went out and checked out the stadium. Spent some time at the Circus Midway playing some games, just having some fun. But went out and bowled some of the side events around. Did a practice session downstairs on the track showcase lanes and talked a lot about equipment and some of their decisions. They had some ideas coming in and saw some things. Tim Mack, really a great resource here, based on his experience and his knowledge as a international player, a PBA player, a ball rep, a tour rep, a coach. So he saw some things, and he got the guys to go drill up some different balls to give them some different looks out here, both in team event and in doubles and singles. So right now, Lou working on one of those balls he was talking about, the High Road Pearl, drilled specifically for doubles and singles. So we'll see how things develop there. I think having Tim Mack on board the last couple of years really has benefited this team, and Lou stated with Tim's knowledge and experience and his great attitude. That's more than anything. Tim, one of the friendliest guys you'll meet, regardless of how he's performing, of course, passionate, intense, but always a great people person and a great ambassador for the sport. Got to see him the other day through a few games, and here, I know a little bit frustrating here in game number 1, but no doubt these guys have what it takes to get lined up here the rest of the way.
It looks like Tim's already made a ball change or two, and he's made a big jump left already.
Tim, a high rev player, certainly has the ability to get left and wheel it. Not the game plan to start, but eventually you have to realize that you got to go out there and get what you can get. And a lot of folks will think, let me go out there and shoot the big number game 1, but they have to think also, how is that going to affect things down the road? So sometimes it's a matter of sacrificing maybe a few pins early to have something develop later. So it's an interesting balance and so much strategy involved, believe it or not, coming out here to bowl 6 games of doubles and singles.
Yeah, especially with the introduction of the new patterns, or having 2 different patterns last year before, folks could feel completely lost on, during their team event, and, have that concern going in the next day, realizing they're getting the leftovers of what that pattern was. Now something completely different, chance to start fresh, but also, as you said, provides the same challenge of having to be that versatile and that patient and make that many great shots over the course of 9 games to get your name up at the top of the standings for all events. Well,
certainly a true test of versatility, and unfortunately sometimes it works the other way, and we see some big scores in the team event, a lot of confidence coming into doubles and singles, and then maybe not handling this pattern as well, and some struggles. So interesting to see how it works out. We've had some folks, for example, our lefty two-hander Cassidy Schaub, former Team USA member, at a rough team event, only shot 585. I say rough, that would be a a banner day for me. But came back the next day on this double singles pattern. It just matched up well for his rev rate and the angles he likes to play. Shoots 750, 750 for a solid overall performance. So we've seen it all, and then we saw Mr. Lacaze, our all events leader, consistent start to finish, 760, 760, 740 for 22.73, and it didn't seem to phase him. He just went out there and threw great shots no matter what.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Obviously, that was on our last broadcast here on Bull TV presented by Track, and Anthony obviously threw the ball phenomenally well, but he was the one who got I think the whole team's hits kind of went towards him. Everyone else kind of struggling getting the hits. They were all getting to the pocket pretty consistently. But Anthony just had the right ball, the right part of the lane, the right everything. And that's what you need sometimes. Just
last year it worked out the opposite for them, where everybody got the hits. Things went their way. Everything fell into place, and it's a marathon, that team all events. 45 games out of 5 people. And you pick each other up. They had some great sets, and they picked up each other when they needed to, and got those breaks. This year, not so much, but still, I'm sure very happy to see one of their own setting the pace here in the 2014 Open Championships. The exact opposite of Bo Gergen, the 2009 regular singles champ, blasted him with 862 for the highest 3-game set in Open Championships history. Came back the next year and unselfishly decided he was going to share the experience with his team, and they took home the team all events title. So once you get that winning feeling, certainly you want all of your teammates to be able to feel that and sharing that joy.
And talking to a few of those guys, they kind of felt like if Anthony was able to hold on, it was obviously you like to see someone in your group take it, but they kind of felt like all of them working together. It is still a team effort, and even Anthony said that it's everyone's got to be able to contribute to help. So even though it's individual success, even though it might be his name on the banner individually next year, the team feels like they are part of that as well, which is a pretty cool thing to hear as well.
Well, and you mentioned that it's so important with with Anthony bowling well and the rest of the guys. I don't want to say struggling, but not bowling as well. Very frustrating, and Eric Vermelia, an emotional player, when he's bowling well and when things aren't going as well. But able to keep his composure and be the support that Lacaze needed at that time, and helping him get there. And as Franzetti said, Tim Mack serves that role a little bit here. Great attitude to the team. They're starting to gel, get comfortable, and good communication, great knowledge out there. Sometimes it just takes a minute or two to get comfortable together, especially for new teams and new players. And of course, all these guys from the Indianapolis area, so not strangers. And they're very proud of their 4-team group here from Indianapolis, and a rarity that they're able to come bowl together. Next year it won't happen. Some other things going on that will change the schedule. But Indianapolis well represented here on this broadcast and at this year's event. There's Lish with his first strike here in game 2.
Beat me to it. Great shot there.
Smith, your tour guide here at the Open Championships. This way to the restroom.
Yes, if you need to find a restroom in the National Bowling Stadium, I can direct you to the closest one. That's why I wear the suit and tie around here, folks. Always glad to help out, though. Any questions, feel free to email Matt Cannizzaro at...
Yes, find us by email. Find us on Facebook, Twitter. Go to Sporter Bowling USBC on Facebook, Matt Cannizzaro USBC. Remember to like those pages, and you won't miss any of the fast facts and little tidbits that we share with the world. And on Twitter, it's at USBC, at USBC Matt, and at USBC Aaron. Of course, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BowlTV, and you will not be left in the dark when it comes to any upcoming live stream broadcasts. You can go check out the archives and see what's happening earlier in this year. Certainly you want to check out Jan's HI and their march towards the top of the team all event standings. Some great shot making and a little bit of strategy unfolding on camera, and maybe some other ones will show you what not to do. So you can check all those out on youtube.com/BowlTV. Find the Open Championships playlist, and you'll get more than you ever dreamed about the Open Championships. And some questions about today's lane condition, you can find that on bowl.com. Just go to the Open Championships page, click on the information tab on the right side of your screen, and you'll find all kinds of goodies, including a number of graphs of each pattern here in 2014. And some of them very colorful. It took Aaron hours and hours and an entire box of crayons to get those to look just right. But he did that for all of you. So please check those out if you have any questions. Certainly, we're glad to answer where we can. And if we don't know, we'll make it up.
But we'll sound professional.
And there's a good shot by Tim Mack. Got that one way right, but it screamed back. So looks like a little bit of area created to the right. Certainly the rev rate. Able to get it back from the outside. So as soon as he gets his double up on the board, he'll be super comfortable, I'm sure. And he'll be wheeling and dealing the rest of the way.
Yeah, hit a few 10 pins there. Or strike in the first, but got a lively crowd watching this group as well. Even though we're on the high end, don't have the grandstand seating right behind us. Got a decent sized group in the house.
These guys super popular. Some great bowlers walking by. Chad Newman, Clinton Johnson from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They'll be bowling this weekend, looking to put up some big numbers. But Aaron, I think this is a good opportunity now. We're settling into game two. John Bauerle settling in after 190, now a three-bagger, looking for 4 in a row. But somebody posed the question, what is leading in the team event? Well, we have a record score of 35-61, and some great players there. And Aaron has the top 10, and he's going to give you the rundown right now while we have this chance.
All right, thanks, Matt. Once again, on top, Motion Plus Lanes out of Cudahy, Wisconsin. A record score of 35-61, leading regular team. Sitting in second, Donovan's Bunch. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. Out of Painted Post in New York, 35-51, second highest score of all time. Thanks, Ronnie. Out of Orlando is sitting in third, 35-14.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Jan's HI, we've talked about them a lot already, out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, 34-99, sitting in fourth. And Team NABR out of West Henrietta, New York, the stacked team featuring Team USA's Rob Gottschall, Adam Barta, Scott Pohl, Mike Rose Jr., and Brian Wallachek. 34-95, that's the top 5. Top 10 right now for regular team at 33-45, so we got some separation there as it goes down. 7 teams have cracked the 3,400 mark. As we are in doubles, we'll go over that next. Obviously, we've been talking about that a lot last night, just several hours ago. The father-son duo of Clark and Carl Polzer of Arden Hills, Minnesota, 1465. Just passed the 1403 set by Pohl and Rose just a few days ago. Tie for third, Joe Jans and Tim Damrow, and Robert Wiley and Brian Wallachek, 1378. Tim Jans and Andy Bunkowski out of Wisconsin, 1370, that's the top 5. 1354 to make the top 10 in doubles. In singles, Lewis Jenkins Jr. out of War Acres, Oklahoma, 826. Huge number there. Bouncing back just about 300 pins from his double set. Sitting in second, Jeff Grego, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 798. Derek Magno, Cicero, New York, 788. Justin Ziegler, Corona, California, 784. And Terrence Blevins, who rolled the first perfect game of the 2014 event, sits in fifth with 783. 766 to make the top 10. Regular all events, another number we talked about quite a bit, Anthony Lacaz, Melrose Park, Illinois, 2273, the 4th highest of all time. Sitting in second is Damrow out of Wisconsin, 2228. AJ Chapman, the very talented young man out of the Wichita State Bowling program. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with for many years here, I would imagine. 2194. Grego, 2182, and Team USA's Robert Gottschall rounds out the top 5, 2172, 2119 to make the top 10. And finally, team all events. Jans HI, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, 10,363. That is a big number. A lot of teams chasing that. Second, Team NABR, 10,169. MU Warrior Support 1, the Midland Collegiate team, 10,140. Our defending champions for team all events, Junior Team USA Support 1, 10,084. And rounding out the top 5 in team all events and the last group to crack the 10,000 mark. Thanks, Ronnie. 10,061 to make the top 10 team all events, currently 96.99.
Thanks, Aaron.
Ah.
There it is, your top 10. And if you have any questions or want to see beyond the top 10, visit bowl.com. Go to the Open Championships page, click on the Scores tab, and you will see all the leaderboards from this year's event. You also can check out the individual standings. And if you want to see a lot of strikes, go to xbowling.com right now and pull up lanes 57 and 58.
Holy cow.
Nick Hoagland, the 2001 regular singles champ, working on 5 in a row, looking to make it 6 here. And he does. And just before him, Brian Walker had a good day yesterday, had the front 9 on the way to a 279 game. Also has the front 6. Jack Laffey starting to strike. Steve Harmon starting to strike. So backhaul direct teams putting up some scores here. Tim Mack still plugging along here. We did check the rules, Tim, and it is okay to throw 2 strikes in a row. So he mentioned earlier not having a double, but it is okay. It is within tournament rules. You can throw more than 1 strike in a row, and I have a feeling he's going to light him up here at some point. Important thing, making spares at this point. Keep yourself in it. And the strikes will come. Just ask Lewis Jenkins Jr. 527 in doubles and 826 on the same pair of lanes in singles. So it's out there. Sometimes you got to chase it. Sometimes it comes to you. Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you do.
Solid effort by Sullivan. To convert the split, just missed the forfeit. Brian Walker's run of strikes on lane 58 ends in the 7th frame, leaves a 210. See if Hoagland can keep it going. He'll be up next on lane 57.
Shot skates down the lane for Franzetti, leaves the 2-8, so 10 goes. Good break there. Bauerle looking for 5 out of 6 here.
Tough 9. Goodness.
If I'm not mistaken, back in 2010 when Bauerle finished third in all events, he actually threw the same ball that McNeil actually ended up throwing on his way to the all events record. So a great year for the 900 Global breakout in 2010, but Bauerle now throwing some Storm equipment. I would say that's how these teams got their names, Indy, Roto, and Storm.
Let's see what you did there.
Oh, rocket science there.
Hoagland, front 7. Strikes turn red up there. Nick started off with 220. Doubles partner Steve Harmon, 214. Once again, we just recapped it with 1465 set a mere 10 hours ago-ish.
Well, not too long ago, we saw the singles lead change hands 3 times in about 15 hours after holding up for almost a month.
Tim is far left on the lane. He's wheeling and dealing. There's the double.
There's the Tim Mack that we all know and have enjoyed watching for so many years.
That took a long time to double.
And with that, the celebration ensues. Mr. Mack shaking some hands in the crowd. Hopefully, Brenda Mack back home checking in. Hopefully, to see Tim bowl today.
I was going to say Tim's still completely on the screen here, so we got that for a few more frames probably.
That is true. Tim probably will get as far left as any player that we've seen on our broadcast this year. Has the revs and the hand to do it. He and Michaelis finding their groove here in game number 2. Bad break there for Bauerle with the 4-9 after 6 really good shots here. Keep our eyes on Nick Hoagland with the front 7. Jeff Clark on that pair, striking away. 5 out of 7 with 260 to start.
Franzetti covers the baby split to stay clean here in game number 2.
Doing all right when they're not this far apart.
Aaron, we've talked a lot this year about how important it is to make your spares, especially when you're looking at a marathon like Team All Events or All Events. But on these sport bowling lane conditions, of course, you have to be precise. You got to make good shots. And sometimes a bad shot, you pay the ultimate penalty. It just seems to be that way, at least for me. You know, you feel like you missed only by a little bit and you're staring at a split or a washout. And that's kind of what we're seeing here today, but these guys getting a little bit closer here in game 2. And a lot more 8s and 9s than 5 and 6 count splits. You don't have to worry about spares when you throw it like that. Tim Mack 3 in a row.
Nick Hoagland got the 8th strike. Still hanging on. At least you don't have too far of a run here this time, Matt.
Well, if he gets the next one, I'll start heading that way. Maybe share the video with the world. See the evolution of Nick Hoagland Maybe we can track down that picture from when he won singles in 2001.
Say Nick went back to school not too long ago. He was the Matt McNeil before Matt McNeil, the Rodney Dangerfield of collegiate bowling. Had also made first team All-American that year.
Yeah, always good to go back 10 years later and still have it, and proving that he still got it here today. So 220 and now the front eights. Bauerle looking to get back on track here. And he does. Sullivan still struggling on the left lane. Looks like it's going to be back-to-back opens on the left for him.
Franzetti throwing wood. Messenger takes care of the 10, no problem.
Aaron, I think we're close enough that if Hoagland keeps striking, we can turn one of these cameras in that direction because we're that talented.
That's true. We know how to multitask with the best of them.
Certainly give it our best.
Although you took away my stand-in stool, so
we'll make do.
I'm not Emil Williams Jr.
Ah.
Don't have the lengthy reach.
Here's Tim Mack looking for 4 in a row.
Holy cow. He wanted that one. He is left.
The 10 does not cooperate. It might get to the point today where all we're going to see is Tim Mack's bowling ball as it flies over the left gutter cap. Or we'll have to zoom out quite a bit. As you mentioned, a nice crowd gathering here. A lot of talented players probably taking notes.
Yeah, very big group. A lot of good teams coming in these next few days. It's going to be a, for those teams on top of the standings, it's going to be kind of a test run these next few weeks. Nick Hoagland, make it 9. So, in a moment, we're going to, I don't know if Matt Cannizzaro is going to move down to the lane. We'll figure it out though, folks, but tune in, let your friends know, put it up on the Facebook and the Twitter, all the social medias of the world that we may not know about yet. Let them know. We're gonna do some finagling here. We're gonna have the 10th frame with Nick Hoagland going for a 300.
We'll give it our best. That's all we can do.
Franzetti mixes them up. That's a double there. Still playing this game. 230s out there.
We appreciate everybody stopping by to join us today. This is Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith. We're live at the 2014 USBC Open Championship doubles and singles here for Indy Roto and Storm. And the people's choice. We put it out for a Facebook vote, and the people selected this talented group to put on today's broadcast. be here for 6 games of doubles and singles. This is game 2 of doubles.
Nick's doubles partner Steve Harmon still has 214 out there. He went 214 the first game. Hoagland 220. Ryan Walker is ahead of Hoagland, just delivered his second shot. He'll be in the 220s this game.
We'll get ready here in just a minute. Trying to work some magic here. Hoagland getting ready to bowl. All right, here comes Nick. Turn the camera in that direction. Zoom out as best we can. There's Hoagland on the right.
All right, we'll be switching over in a sec here. Hopefully we didn't lose sound, but Nick Hoagland at the far right of your screen. Front 9 strikes, looking for number 10. Here he goes. Late kick gets the 10 out.
All right.
Excellent job, Mr. Canizaro. You're doing well.
See if we can work this zoom button a little bit better on the 11th one here. Nick Hoagland, front 10. 2014 USBC Open Championships, all part of the same group here from Indianapolis. Nick taking a deep breath there. There he is on the right side of your screen. He's been here before. Singles champ. Shot 798. There it is.
Look left off his hand.
Yeah, looks like
3 pin stands, I believe, only.
All right, so Nick Hoagland, possible 289. We're gonna get things back here to our featured pair now.
Go back to the scoreboard for just a sec. Cameraman extraordinaire Matt Canizaro taking care of business.
All right, so a little bit of excitement. Still a great run there for Nick Hoagland. 220, 289. He's at 509. Steve Harmon is finishing things up. 214, 214. Those guys at 937. We're gonna need a bunch here in game number 3, but it's possible. Another game like that.
528, I believe, to grab a share. So you have the calculator out.
$528, so nearly perfect effort to grab the doubles lead here. We've seen stranger. Now we'll turn our attention back to Indy Roto and Storm. Louis Franzetti, great shot. Gets the 10 to go for 3 in a row. Feeling pretty good. It looked like the high road pearl that he was telling me about yesterday. Drilled up just for doubles and singles. Another shot puts him in the 230s. partner, John Bauerle, up on the right. He's got 204 out there after starting with 4 of the first 5. Bauerle 202, follow up his 190. Steve Lang still throwing strikes, 236, 221. Mark Sullivan punches for 171, so those guys at 808 right now. A little bit of a roller coaster across the board here for these 4 Indianapolis teams. But we do appreciate everybody being here. I know there's a lot of bowling going on. If you're not on the lanes, you're at home watching possibly the Inside Bowling IB Open. So maybe switching back and forth. Those guys do a great job over there.
Certainly so. Our good friend Mike Flanagan. Does a fantastic job bringing those events. Usually checks in with us, but obviously he's pretty busy today, so I doubt we'll see that pizza delivered, but sometime soon. All right, already in game 3. Away we go. Packed house here at the 11 a.m. doubles and singles squad. Going from lanes 3 all the way to 62, so full squad here this Saturday morning. I guess it's afternoon now. I guess it's Saturday. Good thing I don't come until 5 today.
Should have you work remotely.
Tim Mack taking care of the 210. Thought he actually put it in front of it at first, but just enough. Falls late for Steve Lang, making the turn at 4:57. It's high on our feature pair so far, lanes 53 and 4 at the National Bowling Stadium, home of the 2014 USBC Open Championships. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, taking some time on your weekend to join us on Bowl TV. Just a reminder, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BowlTV for all the latest and greatest. You can get notifications on all of our upcoming events and so much more. All the great archive materials, all the great coaching pieces, a lot of good stuff on there. So as soon as you finish up today, be sure to check that out. And also you can follow us on Facebook. The Sport of Bowling is at facebook.com/USBC. We're on Twitter, twitter.com/USBC. Then, of course, if you want to follow us, myself and the Matt Canizaro, at USBC Matt, at USBC Aaron on Twitter. Matt's got way more followers than me, and I don't understand why. So, the 217 watching now, feel free to bridge the gap a little bit.
Aaron, I
within
did just
shouting
notice,
distance.
I posted a picture the other night of two of my favorite guys, Glenn Allison and Jimmy Schroeder. And I don't feel that a post or a picture can be validated or worthwhile until it gets the Brad Smith stamp of approval. And I just got notification, Brad Smith likes your photo. So that is in fact a winner in my book. So thank you, Mr. Smith, for checking in and being the guy that likes things. So
That's what he does.
Hey guys.
official stamp of approval.
Nick Hoagland starting with the first two in game number 3. Bounced back nicely after miscue on the 11th shot. Nick was in the 680s or 690s yesterday. Got the paperwork here somewhere. .691 to be exact. So he certainly has his work cut out for him to get to the 2273 of Anthony Paz, but we've seen Nick put up some big numbers here, and he's on his way already.
Del Ballard checking in. I guess the wife and some of her talented teammates are in town. They'll be bowling at the Open and Women's Championships this week, so looking forward to that. I believe they might be on the lanes tonight even.
I believe they are at 7 p.m. I think I actually heard they're bowling all 9 games today.
All right, so keep our eyes on that for sure. Aaron Smith going for the marathon record. Maybe I'll let you escape for a while this afternoon. Go get some rest, and I have a feeling that some of tonight's teams even are going to try to keep you on your toes, put up some big numbers, but we're always ready.
As I mentioned before, a lot of good teams in the next few days. Obviously, Carolyn's got a very talented group. I know Tammy Turner's in town for that. Leslie Bone. I saw Parker yesterday. He was here for the USBC Hall of Fame banquet on Thursday night.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned that at all. Again, it's been a great, exciting week here in Reno. I say it at least twice a broadcast. If it's happening in bowling this year, it's happening in Reno. That's absolutely true. The Open Championships, I'm so excited I can't even talk, kicked off February 28th. Will run until July 13th. The Women's Championships got underway April 11th. Will run until June 30th. And most recently, we had the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships, and you can catch those TV broadcasts on CBS Sports throughout May.
CBS Sports Network, Tuesdays in May, starting May 6th with the Women's ISC Finals. It's a good one, I'm not going to lie. Should definitely tune in for that. 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays in May, starting May 6th, CBS Sports Network. I think I got the whole plug in there.
All right, then we followed that up with the USBC Convention and the annual meeting. All of that was live streamed on our YouTube channel here, so if you want to check out the archives, Lucas Wiseman was the man behind the camera, and you can find those on Bull TV. And of course, the highlight of the week for some of us, the USBC Hall of Fame inductions for 2014. And this year's class included John Gaines, a 4-time champion here at the OC. PBA stars Doug Kent and Steve Cook, and Dale Traber, who's got a handful of titles here, 2 senior masters wins as well, and Woody Woodruff, who was in for meritorious service and a pioneer in the sport, partially responsible for the automated pin setter. How about that? And the real commercial debut of the automatic pin spotter was in 1957 at the USBC Open Championships in Fort Worth, Texas. That's right, the first year of automatic pins. And of course, automatic scoring came on 2 decades later in 1979. So a lot of history and tradition at this event. The evolution continues, of course, as we try to keep on the cutting edge and keep it exciting for all those dedicated bowlers who come back year to year. But certainly a great week here in Reno, and a lot of great players coming in and hanging on for those extra few days to compete here. So a lot of USBC folks using some of their vacation time.
Yeah, all that was live stream as well. You can find the archive. If you get a chance, one of the fun things every year is watching our video producer Matt Lawson goes out to all the inductees and travels around the country to kind of get their story, and some great ones. Woody's is a great feature. They usually last about 4 or 5 minutes, but you really get a good idea of what the individual contributed to the sport. I know we joked around with Dale Travers, the hatchet, Gus Unaris making a cameo on that. Some good stuff there. John Gaines, obviously, very cool. We get to see Chris Barnes with a mullet, so that's always a good thing.
Well,
So
I don't like to brag, but I think the highlight of my 2014 so far was getting a shout out in John Gaines' speech Thursday night. So very, very proud of that, being a part of his career here at the Open Championships. And you know, he's the guy who coined the phrase about you haven't succeeded unless you get your picture taken when you come to the Open Championships. And those guys have used up quite a bit of film over the years here at the tournament, and now well-deserved induction into the Hall of Fame. And we'll see them June 10th as they put their regular team title on the line. Lodge Lanes 2, the 2013 regular team champs. They did it with a then record score of 35-38. Broke the 20-year-old mark set by Brugger's Bagels in 1993. And of course, as we mentioned in our scoreboard update earlier, that number has been beaten. But what's important is that they held on to win the Eagle last year. That's all they ever wanted. Of course, records were made to be broken, but those Eagles are forever.
yes, John was very clear. The record was nice, but it wouldn't mean anything if it didn't come with the phone call at the end of the tournament from tournament manager Dwayne Hagan, letting him know the good news that the 35-38 held on. Despite some close calls, it ended up being enough.
Franzetti with the miscue on the right lane there. So 2 opens on the right here in game number 3. Nick Hoagland still striking to our right.
He's looking for the front 5 here.
4 in a row. Those guys need 528 to get a share of the doubles lead. Nick goes Brooklyn, leaves the 6 pin. Steve Harmon, spare 3 in a row.
So still early on, but possibilities still out there.
So all you can ask for is a chance.
Tim Mack looking for 4 in a row. Leaves attendance. Getting a few of those from him today.
Franzetti's going to the bag. Not exactly sure what it was. Looks like a zero gravity with some shine on it, if I'm not mistaken.
That looks to be it. Pin above the middle finger.
Maybe next year we institute a new rule. Make this like the NBA playoffs, and where the subs have to check in at the scorer's table. If you're gonna make a ball change on the broadcast, you have to check in at the live stream booth and at least show us what it is, so we can tell the world. Just hold it up. That's all we need to see.
Just need a buzzer official to let everyone in.
We'll give the thumbs up and get on your way. Well, here it is, ball change for Franzetti.
Steve Lang hasn't needed a ball change yet. He still looks like a rotograph asylum. He's been steadily putting up some nice scores here. 236, 221 so far. 4 out of the first 5 here in game 3. Good ball change there for Franzetti. All 10 back.
Some signs of frustration here as we plug along. These guys making moves, communicating. 3 of them around the ball return right now. Franzetti telling Tim Mack exactly what he just saw, what he did. I'm sure, ball change, and what his intentions were. Tim's been around the pocket all day. Not able to string the strikes just yet. Looks like he's throwing something different. Not sure when that change came, probably.
It's been a few frames. That's the IQ Tour Fusion. Tim's been a long-time Storm guy.
I think he started the day with the Disturbed, if I'm not mistaken, and a little bit of Surface. Now getting some more length and some pop on the back, and
Rubbing the shoulder after that one.
all right, Aaron Smith stepping out for a minute. Say it'd be cool if we had some special guests here, but everybody seems to be watching intently, so it's just you and me, folks. We appreciate everybody being here. This is Matt Cannizzaro, live at the 2014 USBC Open Championships. This is the People's Choice, Indy Roto and Storm. Put it out for a vote, and the people decided we want to see these guys. Haven't seen them on the live stream before. Always looking to get some new folks in the mix, not necessarily the same ones from year to year, so good to see some new faces. And no doubt the ability to put up some big scores here, so see how the day unfolds. Right now we're in game 3 of doubles. 1465, the number they're chasing, and that was set last night. Father and son, the Polsers, getting it done here at the Open Championships. The highest double score we've seen since going to fresh oil for every squad. That happened last year. Only took 1440 to win. Brian Burkhart and Rick Gatlin, we'll see them in May as they come to put their title on the line. John Bauerle goes high. Here's the 4-pin. Sullivan with the open after the double. Of the 6 players on this pair, here in doubles, only Steve Lang shooting some numbers, 236, 221. Franzetti did have 233 in game 2, but struggling here early in the finale. Like Nick Hoagland and Steve Harmon are going to be a little bit short of taking the doubles lead. Max score for them this game, 525. They needed 528, so certainly going to help towards their team all events quest. They came in shooting 33 and change yesterday, so still need to be about 1,000 over today. But, throwing a lot of strikes. Appears that somebody sitting next to us made a visit to the snack bar, came back with some chicken fingers and fries, didn't take our order. That's all right.
That'll happen. Tim Mack wheeling.
Mack back on track. Strikes 5 out of 7 frames here in game 3.
Nice rhyme there. It was, you have a promising career in greeting card writing in your future, I can see.
I have been working towards that. As soon as my live streaming career goes bust, calling Hallmark. We actually got to write some greeting card type stuff for the Bowler Source, I believe it was, around Valentine's Day. We had a good time with that. If you're not familiar with the Bowler Source and the Bowler's Minute, Aaron's going to tell you all about it, because it's something he does in his free time here at the Open Championships, besides sleeping for 2 hours a day.
Like a ball change there for Bauerle. But yes, Bowler's Minute and Bowler Source, newer feature on the website. Sure, check it out. It's fun for just a different perspective of bowling, especially for folks a little bit newer to the sport. A chance to learn a little bit about what USBC does and what it's all about. There's some fun stuff on there, some a little more lighthearted stuff compared to our riveting press releases. Hard facts and stories from the Open Championships. There's also tips each month from USBC coaching involved based on your level of skill. There's beginner all the way to advanced. Little tips and tricks on there, so a lot of cool stuff to see. Be sure to check it out. It's usually in the slideshow right up at the top.
But we do like to have a little bit of fun every now and then and keep bowling light, as you said. And we do that here at the Open Championships as well, and we have this feature going back to 2008 called On the Lanes, where we catch up with some of the players here at the tournament and get their insight on things behind the scenes and what makes them tick outside of just high scores and participation. But we asked each one of them 12 questions. We did our first one of the year with PBA 50 standout John Conroy. You can find that on bowl.com on the Open Championships page. And I think our next On the Lanes feature, Aaron, should be On the Lanes with Amigo Man. Of course, registration already open for the 2015 event in El Paso, Texas. It'll be our first visit to the Sun City in 111 years of Open Championships history, so looking forward to that. Aaron lived there in 2010, had a great time. Excited about the return, and I think they're equally as excited about having you back. And of course, Amigo Man is the mascot for El Paso, and we have a version of Amigo Man joining us in the media relations office this year, just getting a feel for the bowlers and what it makes them tick here at the Open Championships, so the city can be better prepared in 2015. If you haven't registered yet, you can do that on bowl.com. Just go to the Open Championships page. And a little bit of excitement surrounding the 2015 event. We'll have new squad times. So looking forward to no late squads and no early squads. First squad of the day will be at 9 a.m. double singles, followed by 1 p.m. double singles. Team event at 5 and 8:30. And 8:30 also on some days will be split. Half double singles, half team event. So, and that's it for the day. We should get out of there by 11:30 midnight and have plenty of time to go out and enjoy what El Paso has to offer. And it sounds like a lot of great little places to visit, great food for sure. Any other highlights that you can share, Mr. Smith?
Well, the cuisine, if you're a fan of Southwest cuisine, that's doesn't get much better than that. Obviously, I know we talked about it a little bit, or I sent you a article about it. I don't know if you read whatever I send you or not, but one of my favorite websites, Grantland.com, run by ESPN's Bill Simmons. Had Tim Mack crunching the numbers for his Indianapolis group. Nick Hoagland, Steve Harmon in position to throw the last 6 strikes in the 10th frame total to just miss the doubles lead, 14-62.
Yeah, second place looking pretty good right now.
But getting back to El Paso, interesting article from Grantland.com talking about the new AAA baseball team that debuted this year in Sun City, the El Paso Chihuahuas. And the interesting thing, they had a minor league team, maybe not necessarily single A, double A, triple A, but one of the minor league systems had a stadium in El Paso, the Diablos, which was, the stadium was a little outside of the downtown area. I actually have no idea where it was at. We did work a lot that year, but they said in order to bring the AAA team, they wanted something downtown. So the one place where they found to put the minor league baseball stadium, the brand new facility for the Chihuahuas, was right where City Hall was at. So they actually relocated their City Hall, knocked it down, to build a brand new, state-of-the-art minor league baseball stadium. So next year, 2015, I'm sure we'll be spending some time with the Chihuahuas.
So back in our TV pair, Tim Mack now looking for his 3rd consecutive double here at the end of game number 3.
That's one way of looking at it.
Just made Aaron Smith do a double take. That'll be 6 in a row for you following along at home. Great shot there for Tim Mack. He had a 10-pin there in the middle of the game, keeping him from 290. But one more great shot like that, he'll be at 269. A strong finish. Mike Lish also can finish strong. Still has 235 out there. Tim's gonna make a ball change for the fill.
Just thought 1260 is possible.
It's like an IQ tour. Great shot from Lish. These guys starting to get their groove here heading into singles. John Mortarella right behind us, bowled a 900 series in New York back in 2012. Celebrities everywhere.
I was gonna say we had probably gonna botch the last name, but PJ Geisenfeld.
PJ Geisfeld, saw him yesterday.
Yeah, he was in town.
Jeremy Sonnenfeld, saw him, he was here as well. This is the place to be.
661 for Mr. Mack. Nice break there for Mike Lish crossing over. That'll get him into the 230s. Hoagland on his first delivery in the 10th, 3-6-10.
Seems to be a popular 10th frame leave here at the Open Championships.
Especially on the high end of the house. Not too far away from where Zeke Bate won his title in singles last year.
Steve Harmon still striking for the Harmon-Hoagland duo. We'll get that update posted on Facebook here in just a minute once we get a total.
Casper the friendly bowler.
So 1264 finish for Mack and Lish. Jack Laffey and Brian Walker, a few pairs to a right, 1303. Nick Hoagland in the books, 245. For 754, big set, not the fresh. Harmon strikes on his fill ball for 257, so that'll put them at 1429. High on our feature pair for doubles, 670. Just ahead of Tim Mack, 661. $178 for Sullivan.
Aaron, please double check my my elderly eyesight, but I see 1439 as a doubles total. Is that correct?
Oh, that's my bad, yeah.
All right.
My apologies. Shorted Steve 10 pins. It's rude of me. Bauerle is going to be in the 220s here for 6 teams. 617 with all 10. For 615, John Bauerle Jr. Franzetti can get to 181 with a strike on the filled end. It's time for singles already.
Where does the time go? 3 games in the books. Tim Mack just now getting lined up, 269 finish. So looking forward to an exciting singles event as he gets left and wheels it. Franzetti getting left as well. Has some room to the right. Feels pretty good about that. Phil Ball.
It's 181 for 596.
With that said, while you crunch the numbers, I think it's time for a station identification here as we get ready for singles. I'll be right back. Leave it in your...
Thanks, Matt. Once again, just getting ready for singles here. Big news from the squad. 2 pairs to our right. Steve Harmon and 2001 regular singles champion Nicholas Hoagland moving to 2nd in regular doubles, 1439. Score set just yesterday, 1465 on top of doubles.
Here we are, just got a nice little tidbit of information from John Martorella. We talked about all the 900 guys in town this week, and he said he's a little bit excited this year. Their companion team got a interesting pickup, a great pickup. It's going to be Kelly Kulik coming in this year. So you discuss that. I'll be right back. All right, so the staff on top of things here, letting us know about our second place doubles effort. But yeah, Kelly Kulik coming to town. So I saw her this week for the convention. She's a USBC board member now, an athlete representative. And by the way, she throws it really, really well.
That she does. One of my favorite Kelly stories was during the 2012 US Women's Open. Basically led every squad. So I went to go find her every day, and she found a new way to answer these same questions over and over each day.
That's funny. I had the same conversation with her at the US Open in Ohio last year. Same story.
It's a good problem to have.
All right, with just about everybody on the squad in singles. Cruising along here, game 4 of 6. Louis Franzetti wheeling it. Starts with a double. Doubles across the board here. Aaron feverishly calculating. Backhaul direct guys, and their potential run at team all events. Of course, keep an eye on Indy Roto and Storm. Great shot there from Bauerle. 3-9-10 pickup.
Looks like 33-22 unofficially for the backhaul direct guys for doubles.
Great number there. A couple of struggles early, but some big scores later.
That still puts them in a pretty tough position. Plus 659 or so. So they basically got to match that and then some to get to the number. Nick Hoagland, high out of this Indianapolis group that we're watching. 14:45 making the turn into singles. That still leaves him 8:28 away from a share of the lead.
All right, well, he still got 890 out there, so it's on paper.
890 is still good.
890 is a good score. They could win. Great shot from Lang. 9-pin does not want to cooperate. These guys are all in the hole. Here in singles, things seem to develop nicely. Thumbs up from Tim Mack. He is ready.
Once again, a lot of folks checking out the high end of the house here. See Team Paps is in the house, featuring Chris Gibbons, another talented group out of Wisconsin. Made a run at the score last year, 34-50, I believe. They'll be bowling tomorrow.
We mentioned Kelly Kulik. If you're in the neighborhood, you want to come by the National Bowling Stadium. Of course, it's free to come in and watch bowling anytime. But some of the top ladies in the sport will be back in action here at the NBS. We've had them on the live stream broadcast before. Carolyn Doran Ballard, Tammy Turner, Leslie Bone, Tennille Milligan. Not too sure who their fifth's going to be. Usually Kathy Doran Lizzie, so we'll see if she surprises us here this year. But always looking forward to seeing them. Always able to put up some big numbers. They did so for us on the broadcast a couple of years back. So if you're nearby, certainly come on and check it out. A lot of great bowlers in town. We appreciate everybody joining us. Singles underway here at the 2014 Open Championships. Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith, and the People's Choice, Indy Roto and Storm. The first Facebook poll as we made the live stream schedule for 2014.
Tim Mack looking for 4 in a row. He's already into 5th arrow. A strong start for these guys here in singles. Looks like the lanes are getting where they want. Sullivan, Franzetti, and Mack have yet to miss.
Hearing somebody in the chat room ask when is Kelly Bowl, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. on the 28th, so 2 nights from now. Kelly Kulik.
Let's see, 7 p.m. on the 28th. That's also a very talented group out of Iowa. Matt Smith and company will be on the lanes earlier in that day. Derek Oaf and his crew will be going at the 3 o'clock, so.
The only other player on Kelly's team that I recognize is Sarah Germano, former Pikeville Collegiate Player, another talented young lady. So looking forward to seeing what they can do. Certainly a lot of great bowlers to watch here this week. Derek Oaf, talked to him yesterday. Him and his former Nebraska Cornhuskers headed our way. No lead is safe at the 2014 Open Championships. Just waiting one of these years for Derek to break through. He's finished 2nd in doubles, 3rd in all events. Has a 300 game here.
There's a front 4 for Franzetti. Mack looking for 5 in a row.
Right now we're behind lanes 53 and 54. Tim likes that shot. Who would? Snaps the 10 for a 5-bagger. A lot of strikes on the board here in the singles. So whatever they were doing in doubles to get the lane set up and ready appears to have worked. They're all moving left with some shinier equipment. And a lot of angle off the break point. Great shots like that from Michael Ish after the 4-4. Comes back and mixes them up for a strike.
Steve Lang gets his first double of singles. Mark Sullivan struggled in doubles to start off singles the right way. Looking to join Mack with 5 in a row.
Irely getting in on the action. The strike-a-thon here behind lanes 53 and 54.
Once again, the People's Choice. Indy Roto, Indy Storm. Selected by the users on our official USBC Open Women's Championships Facebook page. Thank everyone for participating in that and everyone for tuning in today on this Saturday afternoon. So thanks for taking some time to join us. Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro here all day. Starting to get busy here. The 2014 event. A late night last night. 1465 in doubles. Almost broke here today by Nick Hoagland and Steve Harmon. 1439.
Is it a late night or an early morning?
Yes.
Yes. Well, anytime you get a wake-up call from Aaron Smith at 2 a.m., something's happening. And within minutes, the news was on Bull.com, it was on Facebook, it was on Twitter, and the world knew that the Polzers were on top of the double standings. These guys right now trying to get to the top of the singles leaderboard. 826. Saw that one just a few days ago. Lewis Jenkins Jr. from Oklahoma. Shot 527 in doubles. And scratched his head a little bit. Decided to stick with it. Just played in the same place with the same ball, and it came to him. Shot 300 on the way. Closed out at 269. Threw the big strikes when he needed them. Previous leader was 798, Jeff Grego from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And Jenkins was able to get it and then some. Now 826. Last year it only took 795 to win the singles title here. Zeke Bate.
It's been passed twice already. Yeah, all the scores from last year already have been passed with the 1465 happening last night, this morning-ish, kind of.
New conditions every year, a new challenge. That's one of the great things about the Open Championships. No matter how you bowl, you always get another shot next year, and guaranteed to be at least a little bit different this year. 2 different lane conditions, again, for the second time in history. A true test of versatility. 43 feet in the team event, 40 feet here, sports certified in doubles and singles. And if you're not a sport member, but you're interested in some of the great sport bowling awards, you are able to upgrade your membership prior to competition, so you can stop by the check-in counter, pay your $15, and get yourself a Sport Bowling 300 ring or a crystal pin for $800. Giving away a few of those so far this year. Some folks paying that money and making it worthwhile. Call that the Matt McNeil lesson, but try to do it before you shoot the big scores.
Yeah, collegiate bowler from Urbana, Graham Fa, the lefty, put on quite a performance in his first USBC Open Championships appearance in town to watch. Not even Tim Mack can get it back that far, Matt. But put a team together late. They shot the 35-51, nearly took over the lead. Had a chance stepping up. The last the anchor bowler, Chris Vi, fell out a little short, but Graham 836, 290, 246, 300. Then he went on to lead Urbana to the televised finals of the ITC. But yeah, he gets his crystal pin, Sport 300 ring. And the glory of having those announcements made every year about him. He's a celebrity here from here on out.
However, despite shooting .836, Mr. Fa did not bowl doubles and singles, was not scheduled to do so because of the collegiate event, and went home. Trying to get back, I talked to Hazel from the Canadian Tin Pin Bowling Federation at the Hall of Fame dinner and said that they're doing everything they can to get him back here to at least make a run at the all events title. He can't win the money, but he can take home that eagle. Still would have a lot of work ahead of him. Of course, 22.73, a big score. Anthony Lacaze.
Certainly a sizable head start, though, if Graham does make it out.
Still would need 14.37, so he'd have to average 7.18 for doubles and singles to get there. But yes, certainly a good head start on his teammate James Tucker, 7.57, also in the same boat. Come out together, purchase a double single spot, and see if either one of them can take down Mr. Lacaze. Right now, strikes all around us. Dylan Murphy shot 300 here a couple of years back and struggled a little bit in team and doubles. Coming on strong here in singles. He's got the front six. We'll keep an eye on him. Strikes to our left as well. So we're looking all around today, but as we talked about last year, we figured with the fresh oil for every squad, double scores might be down a little bit as folks get comfortable and break the lanes down a little bit. The fresh oil always a little bit tricky. But then with the chance to bowl 6 games on the same pair, expecting single scores to go up a little bit as you create a little bit of area. But not the case in 2013. A little bit different here in 14, so we'll see. Still a long way to go. We're here till July 13th, and we're just really getting out to the meaty part of this event, where we're full every day. 10:30 squads all over the schedule. Tim Mack trying to get his name all over the leaderboard. He's got 6 out of 8 right now. Dylan Murphy gets 7 in a row. Scoreboard changes colors, and we'll have somebody come over and let us know here in a minute, even though we're 3 lanes away. Good teamwork here at the Open Championships. A great team of 50 or 60 or so travelers who go to the event every year, no matter where it is, and then we'll hire about 75 to 100 locals to help things run smoothly now from here on out until almost 3 a.m. every day. On the lanes at 7, lane crews on the lanes at 3, getting things cleaned up, oiling by 5 or 6, and marching for the first squad of the day at about 10 till 7. So some long days ahead, and we're ready for every minute of it. Aaron Smith has enjoyed almost every minute of competition for the last 24 hours.
Pretty close.
We'll have a couple of those days next week. We'll be live streaming from the Women's Championships on May 3rd. And then I'll have some of my bowlers coming to town and get to watch them bowl. And then, of course, Mr. McNeil and the Linz Lakers will be in town. And we'll be on the lanes to show off their doubles and singles late on May 4th, 10:30 p.m. here in Reno.
They provided some fireworks last year. McNeil falling just short of then the 789 of John Zerbinski to move into second. He finished up 3rd overall. But yeah, certainly tune in. Quite a show when Mr. McNeil gets rolling. He's hasn't let us down very often on the live stream, so certainly worth staying up late, checking it out.
Yeah, McNeil with 300-822 in his title defense in 2011. Came up a little bit short, finished third in all events that year. And came back in 2012 with 300-847 on the way to the regular doubles and regular all events title. So 3 eagles in just a couple of years there for Mr. McNeil. And another great shot to our right from Dylan Murphy, looking to add his name to the short list of bowlers with multiple 300 games here at the Open Championships. And even shorter list of folks with 2 at the National Bowling Stadium. So I'm not going to tell him that till after. But,
that's sweet of you.
But a couple more shots like that, and he'll be in the record books, trying to erase a little bit of disappointment earlier on.
In the record books again.
I actually sent him that picture the other day for a little bit of motivation. It's been a couple of years, and the ultimate goal is to get your picture taken. So he called it a throwback. So maybe it's time for an update. Greg Harris to our right. Throws one in the ditch. Oops.
Mack is wheeling.
I think he liked that one.
And it's fun to watch.
Mark Sullivan knows he liked that one as well. Almost got the Tim Mack hatchet to the kneecap there.
Mark responds with a strike of his own. So let's see, Lish, 251 is still out there. Sullivan, 266. Franzetti, 278. Mack, 266. Some big scores. Good start. Towards that 826. We can finish out some 10 frames here. Stands for Lou. So those 250s out there.
Steve Lang was the man to beat there in doubles, struggling a little bit here. Late in game 1 of singles. It's amazing how fast it comes and goes here at the Open Championships.
It certainly does go quick. I will absolutely agree with that. It's a fun ride, but it does go quick when you're out there on the lanes. Before you know it, you're in that you're in the final game already. Trying to figure out how you were plus 19 after 4 games, and now you're clawing to get to minus 100. Oh wait, that was me.
Ha. Yeah, to have it in 1 minute and then all of a sudden struggling to eat the ball in the pocket. The challenges of the Open Championships is what it's all about. You only get one chance. Mack rings the 10. That shot looked just like all the others. Folks, after we turn off the cameras here, when we're done today, there's still some live streaming cameras, some video cameras available for you to use here at the National Bowling Stadium. 3 video cameras and some point and clicks. You can go on to bowl.com, find the Open Championships page and the webcams tab on the right. will give you a chance to watch from home, see some of your favorite bowlers, and use the point and clicks to potentially check out the scoreboards as well. There's no commentary, and it's not quite as smooth and sophisticated as what you're watching right now, but it certainly is a chance for you to check out friends and family members.
Certainly so, Matt. Big double for Mike Lish there.
Dylan Murphy's string of strikes has come to an end in the 9th frame.
I think it was a washout.
5-4.
Up! Get him out of there!
Tim Mack showing off for the cameras. I know we've mentioned it before in other live streams. Haven't done it yet today, but for those of you with the bandwidth capabilities, you can watch today's broadcasts and all of our broadcasts in high definition, or most of our broadcasts, here at the Open Championships for sure. But if you click on the gear setting in the bottom right part of the screen, take it up to 720p, crystal clear bowling coverage. You can see Tim Mack still mostly on the screen on the left lane. .250 for Mike Lish, officially in the books. Great start. .245 for Mack.
Nick Hoagland's all events dreams are going to have to wait another year here. And team all events probably not within reach here with 2 games to go for the back hall direct guys. Great bowling again, 2 years in a row out of that group. We're having the opposite effect over there compared to over here. There they had a great double scores and struggling a little bit here in singles. And for Indy Roto and Storm on our featured pair, doubles was a little bit rough, but singles going exceptionally well for the most part.
Tough break for Sullivan in the 10th. There going a bit high. He's a 4.79. Finish at 229. 206 for Steve Lang.
Appears the chat room has gone silent. We appreciate everybody joining us once again. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the 2014 USBC Open Championships behind lanes 53 and 4 here at the National Bowling Stadium. Franzetti will be in the 240s despite the split here in the 10th.
For the back hall direct guys, Jack Laffey 203, Steve Harmon 189, Brian Walker 182, Nick Hoagland 182. With a conversion in the 10th frame, Dylan Murphy can be in the 250s, but that big number they were looking for probably out of reach. Here's Bauerle finishing off game 1. 218 with all 10. Takes care of business.
Hard to do after that game.
All right, so here we are, game 2 underway. Mike Lish, great shot there. He started with 250. And great way to start game 2.
Made a great adjustment after going 4 through the face. 4th frame of game 1 of singles. Struck all the way to the fill ball. He's back at it again.
Well, 4 of these 6 players still with a shot at the singles title here in 2014. It's going to take a whole lot of strikes.
Wheeling and dealing. Get on the horse ball, Tim Mack.
Always fun to watch Tim. Always fun to talk to Tim. Just a lot of great insight. Seen him a few times at various women's events, watching Brenda. You see that a lot with the husbands and the boyfriends back there. Saw that earlier this year. Hank Boomershine, unable to participate due to a wrist injury, but was there to help his wife and teammates, co-workers, into the lead in the team event at the time. Always nice to have an extra set of eyes.
Certainly so, and next year, 2015, for those husbands, boyfriends looking to join their better half at the women's championships, there's going to be a fun new option. The USBC Mixed will be making its debut right here in the National Bowling Stadium. We'll give couples and maybe folks a little intimidated by the Open Championships, Women's Championships, a chance to compete on the big stage in a little more laid-back environment. It's going to have the same divisions and structure as the Women's Championships. 2 guys, 2 gals on a team. And will provide boatloads of fun and a chance to take in what these events are all about. Get to experience the high ceilings, the march down center aisle. So that will be a new addition in 2015 at the National Bowling Stadium. Follow in 2016 when the Women's Championships goes to the brand new facility at Southport. In process right now.
Looking around, Keith Marion had the front 5 in game number 1. and pulled a Matt Canizaro, finished with 213.
Now, if I was mean, I would make a comment about that, but I won't.
You're such a kind-hearted gentleman. I would never expect anything to come out of your mouth, sir. Until I shoot 1699, and then I won't hear the end of it for another 360 days or so.
The small things we fight for. I learned my lesson after Baton Rouge not to gloat. After a victory, no matter how tiny.
That's quality bowling right there. Might as well just left a big 4 in there. Like a dessert. I take advantage of getting 9 on the
Always interesting to hear what the bowlers are thinking, not realizing when there's a microphone right in front of them. Luckily, only talking about bowling, no post-bowling plans or profanity, so that's good news. Nice break for Tim Mack, breaks up to 4-9.
I just want to see him get deeper. I don't recall ever seeing anyone loft the gutter on one of our live streams. Just for fun, maybe a field ball. Say, hey Tim, move left. No, more left. And just keep going until he's on like 51 to start.
Looks like our 50-year guy, Bill Nesbitt, from Rossville, Georgia, is gonna take a breather here in singles. He bowled team and doubles. Celebrated 50 years at the Open Championships. 172nd bowler to join that exclusive club in 111 years of tournament history. Have a couple more this year. A couple 60-year guys coming up in the next 10 days or so.
Yeah,
A lot of excitement. Yep.
May 1st and 2nd.
We talked a little bit yesterday on site about potentially enhancing the on-site awards program, the participation awards especially. Of course, one of them we don't really have a choice at all. We need to come up with something really cool for next year, as Sylvester Thiel from Minnesota looks to become the first modern era bowler in the 70-year club. We've had 2 members, Joe Norris and Bill Dorman, both competed a record 71 times. John Norris's last event more than a decade ago. And Sil Thiel in pursuit of those 2 gentlemen. Log number 69 this year. We'll be back next year in El Paso for number 70. We have great awards. At 50 years, you get a diamond lapel pin. 55 years, an engraved watch. 60 years, a gold money clip. And 65 years, a custom ring. Haven't given out too many of those. And then 70, we're still trying to decide what is worthy of 70 years at the Open Championships. not be a singles title for Mr. Franzetti this year, but still big singles number out there. We saw Willie Welts from South Florida yesterday make a run at it. Had the front 9 the last game and ended up with 279 for 758, I believe, were his final numbers. A lot of close calls.
Yeah, the pins certainly go fast. Chase a number like 826.
Also had 2 members join the 100,000 pin club this year. Maynard Johnson and Bob Hart became the 14th and 15th members of that exclusive club.
We actually live streamed Bob Hart's run to 100,000 pins. Got in the 3rd game of his team event. Had a big crew on hand from Storm, where he's worked for the past 20 years. And obviously we had the live stream going, but they made a great video as well. The folks from Storm had a few different folks with cameras chronicling the day. And Matt Cannizzaro might have made the first camera bomb in a video. Trying to take a photo of the crowd, sneaks his camera into the side of the video camera. But it's about a 9-minute video, definitely worth looking up. Get some great insight from Bob. Always a ride. Always has one-liners. Really, it was a really cool day. Glad we got to be a part of it.
Well, Shorty, always fun to be a part of those special events here at the Open Championships and see those guys. Saw Bob again the other night at the Hall of Fame dinner, and always fun to talk to. As you said, a lot of good stories and one-liners. Bob Hart and Randy Peterson had fun going back and forth during the Bob Hart roast as part of that celebration.
Certainly so. I think it would be frowned upon if we repeated some of that stuff here, but had a fun night indeed. Thanks to those folks for letting us be a part of it.
We are in game 2 of singles here. Been here since the start of doubles. We saw some great scores to our right. And these guys on the TV pair struggled a little bit, but having a good go at it here in the singles event. So a little bit of excitement.
Great shot there by Lou. Trying to get back on track here after 246 in the opener.
You know what a strikeout is?
So we're not going to see a new singles leader today, but
Well, Mike Lish is not
not eliminated yet.
not eliminated
That's right.
yet.
Still needs them all.
Settle down, Canizaro.
Sorry, sir. I was looking around and up and down and didn't look all the way up top.
Granted, not much room left for Mr. Lish out of Zionsville, Indiana.
8:30, still out there. 8:26. Our leader, Lewis Jenkins Jr. from Oklahoma.
Tim Mack liking that one. Just like that, Michael Lish's run at the singles lead comes to a close.
So I was one frame too early.
Little Murphy a few pairs to our right. 252 in the opener. He's got 290 still out there halfway through game 2. Not a lot of misroom there either. But yeah, it certainly changes once that big score is up there. Obviously, folks know they can get to it if they can see someone else do it, but it's got to be tough coming into an event thinking you have to, to take all events now. You have to average 250 plus. A few 220s kind of puts you in a rough spot, which is a tough thing to say because 220 is a solid score out here. All of a sudden you have to find yourself down. You have to make them 60 pins to get there. Same thing with the team event. You need all 5 guys to nearly average, or just under 240.
Some years you'll come out and you'll find that grind. We saw that in 2012. Had 19 300 games, took 22.02 to win all events. 800 on the nose to take home singles. 3,400 in team, 3,401. Just the nature of the event from year to year. Dylan Murphy still striking. 2 pairs to our right. Front 7 to our left, the left-hander, Lee Johnson. We haven't seen too many left-handers shoot 300 here in the last couple of years. Of course, Grant Fa, the southpaw, with the first 800 of this year's event. Included a 300 game. Last year it was Will Garber, the two-hander. Now Lee Johnson making his run. We'll keep you posted on that. One pair to our left.
Miscue there. The rack coming down on Mark Sullivan's spare attempt. So we'll have that taken care of here relatively shortly. Stepping up on lane 52, just to the left of our feature pair. Should be able to see Lee Johnson's shot go down lane at least. May not see the approach, but looking for 8 in a row. Late trip on the 7. In the opener for Lee out of Greenwood, Indiana. We're still trying to get situated. On our feature pair here. Looks like we have some work to do on the scoreboard as well. Mack up on 53 now after some
took the wrong arrow off.
10 strikes to make it 4 in a row. Still might have some issues with the scoreboard here, so we'll get that squared away here. The lane monitor working on it right now. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in this Saturday, on their Saturday, on their weekend, here to Bowl TV presented by Track. Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro here all day. Stepping up on 51, Lee Johnson, looking for 9 in a row. His run at perfection ends with the 2.47.
And to our right, Dylan Murphy has now ended his run at the singles lead. Still has 8:20 out there, but not going to be enough.
He says bowl, and then he puts Tim's arrow on me. Now I think
I think we're getting close to get these arrows situated. They're going on the right track. Tim Mack has not bowled in the 8th frame yet. You get the arrow on his name and then should be back to business.
This is a live stream first, of course, keeping these guys on their toes, but there's a lot of pressure when you're the guy and there's 8 people, 10 people trying to tell you what you need and what's going on. A thankless job sometimes, but a lot of great folks here on the lane crew trying to make the best experience possible for 60,000 bowlers.
Hey guys, I'm sorry about this.
Tim Mack
Tim Mack with his laydown point.
liking the carry.
I don't know if you saw that from where you're sitting, but he's getting very close to lofting the left gutter. He must have heard your request. That was very close.
Still got time. Still got.
Whole game to go.
Got to do. I think that's the right move.
So Lee Johnson finishes up 264, starting with the front 8. It's making the turn at 473. Mack still coaching out here, helping, talking to Louis Franzetti about his angles to the pocket. After leaving that mix 7.
gonna happen, Aaron. It's gonna happen.
I am giddy with excitement.
It's
right
really gonna happen.
I love the fire.
Absolutely. Every shot, all the way till the end. That's a great attitude and the passion they were talking about yesterday and what Tim brings to this team. And even if you're mathematically out of winning, every pin's still meaningful financially and competitively. Here's Franzetti and his Tour Fusion getting further left. Leaves the 4-pin. Aaron scribbling down some scores. Jack Laffey, 203, 243. Steve Harmon, 189, 178. Brian Walker, 182, 203. Nick Hoagland, 182, 187. Dylan Murphy on fire here in singles, 252, 247. And Jeff Clark just finishing things up, 201, 217. That's the backhaul direct crew. They shot 3,300 plus yesterday. Not going to get team all events, but still putting up a great number here in 2014, just as they did a year ago when they shot 10,000 in team all events. And Tim Mack striking the night away here in Reno. Still has 269 out there. Really turned it on the last game at doubles at 269 and followed that up with 245 to open singles. So 3 great games in a row here for the international star, and everybody getting left. And Aaron just waiting and hoping that Tim will be locked in the gutter by the end of the day. And he's getting awfully close. 245, 269 still out there. 800 still a possibility. Tim making just his 9th appearance on the championship lanes. That includes a few years at the Masters. So just getting back into the bowling swing after some injuries and a lot of travel.
There's the 260s for him.
I have absolutely no idea what it's like. Well, I know what it's like to play that part of the lane because I'm left-handed, but from the other side, I couldn't even imagine. Not something we practiced very often as left-handers. I bet Chris Hester can do it, though.
Of course.
He is talented and versatile. And suckered me into a burger bet here at the 2014 Open Championships. world famous bowling writer Kent Lowe in the house from Baton Rouge. He's the sports information guy for LSU basketball and longtime bowling writer. Believe it or not, Aaron, his first Open Championships appearance was in 2012. He's
Close to home.
He's experienced in the journalism world. And yeah, right in his backyard. Not sure why he didn't bowl in 2005. But bowled in 2012, loved it. Came out in 2013. And he's back here again. So he got hooked. That's how we get you. Come to your hometown, you bowl once, and you can't get enough. You want to try again next year. And some people in this live stream booth thought at some point in time that there was something better out there than being at the Open Championships. Unbelievable. But they always come back.
They always come back. You hear that, Emil?
Aaron Smith with a one-year hiatus in 2011. Came to his senses, came back in 2012.
Another 206 for Steve Lang here. Mark Sullivan 182.
Solid day for Steve Lang, making a lot of spares here in singles for back-to-back 206s, but good double set for sure, slow and steady. Franzetti struggling here in game 2. Started with 246, and he's been making some ball changes and moving around a little bit. And possible 171 here in game 2. Bauerle now very far left as well.
So it's 2-0 out there.
Everybody starting to flirt with the 7th era for you right-handers. Final shots of game 2 coming up here. Bauerle's going to wrap things up. Still got 206 out there. Franzetti finishes with 171. So everybody's going to be plus here through 2 games. We've had 4 or 5 doubles and singles live stream broadcast so far, and I've seen a couple guys just absolutely bowl great, and everybody else been plugging along right around the plus range. Definitely not an easy pattern. It's all part of the challenge of the Open Championships. Maybe the team pattern a little bit softer, as they say, a little bit higher scoring. It's a little more of a challenge here on day 2 to balance it out. Unless your name is Anthony of the Cause and it's all gravy for you. Great bowling by him.
Would you call it the gravy train on biscuit wheels?
No.
Wish starts off game 3 with a strike. Kicking the 10 out. Here we go, Tim Mack, 5-14 at the turn. Pulls that one, nice break, crosses over Brooklyn.
Right, so game 3 underway. And our time winding down. Feel like I just got off the phone with Aaron Smith in the middle of the night telling me about the new doubles leaders, and here we are. Less than an hour away from the 3 p.m. team event. Shot there by Sullivan, breaks up to 7-10. Man of the hour, international star Tim Mack. 245, 269. Starts game 3 with a strike. 8-14. Still out there for him.
That would put him at 2190 for all events.
Gonna be second in singles and top 10. Just inside the top 10 for all events. No?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 4, maybe.
Starting to see some great numbers the last few days for sure. 2100, definitely in the top 10.
Yeah, 2190 would be 4th place right now, so.
All right.
2119.
2119
is 10th currently.
If you're curious about any of the scores or news or notes from the Open Championships, check out bowl.com, go to the Open Championships page. Great information about the Women's Championships as well. That event being held across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, April 11th through June 30th. So if you're a competitive female bowler, get yourself a plane ticket and bowl both events in one trip. 2 great competitive opportunities. You can come out and throw great shots like Tim Mack did there for the double. Aaron wasn't even looking. You're gonna have to rewind it to see if he got far enough left yet.
Total faith we will see this by the end of the day.
Sorry, Johnny. Yeah, Muggsy.
Feeling every shot. Tim Mack.
Curious about the rest of the live stream schedule? Definitely check out bowl.com. Go to the Open Championships page. Under the information tab, you can find the 2014 Open and Women's Championships live stream dates coming up the rest of the way. Some great broadcasts still on the schedule. And these guys today, Indy Roto and Storm, the people's choice. For the first time, we put it out there for a vote on Facebook and let the people decide. It chose from 4 terrific groups in town this week and determine who we'd show. And Tim Mack certainly giving the people what they want. Excitement, big scores. He's making his run here in singles. Best he can get is second place. He's a fiery guy. Every strike, a little bit of excitement. Last one, a couple of fist pumps at the foul line.
Holding at the line, 10 in the pit.
That one, he didn't look so sure about that one. But the 7 goes high flush. Steve Lang goes high on the left, light on the right. Lish is going to make a ball change, put another one on the rack. Franzetti trying to get the lucky break there. Trying to get the 2 to tip into the 5. Doesn't go. Backhaul guys starting to strike here in game 3. Putting up some final numbers. Still going to be short of taking the lead in anything, but another respectable year. And a big crowd on hand to check them out. Mack stepping up 3 in a row. Looking to keep his 800 dreams alive.
Wowza.
4 in a row and getting even closer. He's inching closer to that left gutter. I feel that if this happens, Aaron, it'll be totally worth being awake for almost 24 consecutive hours.
I agree.
Somebody did ask what Tim Mack is throwing. And from here, it looks like the IQ Tour is solid, but we'll take a closer look if we can on the next shot. Or we'll simply ask the experts on the lanes.
Tough to believe that didn't fall for Sullivan. Couldn't have done it any better without hitting the actual pin. Put it right around it. Here's Bauerle looking to keep pace with Tim Mack for 4 in a row. Nice break. Most of these guys starting to use your part of the lane, Matt. I don't think we've seen a group get this far left this year for our doubles and singles.
Do appreciate everybody joining us on this special broadcast, the People's Choice Indy Roto and Storm, live from the 2014 USBC Open Championships. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith bringing you the action. We're behind lanes 53 and 54, and we're watching right now Tim Mack step up on the right lane, looking for 5 in a row here. That one was left off his hand.
Oh, trips it.
What a break. And
one time.
And the fire.
Giving the people what they want. Timothy Mack. Nick Hoagland stepping up in the 8th frame, their final game. He's looking for 280 after a few 180s to start singles. Looking for a big finish there. Steve Harmon, 260 still out there. He struggled, 189, 178. Dylan Murphy, looking for a big set of his own after an open in the first. 6 in a row. He had 499 at the turn. 770 still out there.
John Bauerle also quietly striking here in game 3, front 4 for the 5-bagger.
Had the front 9 yesterday. Second game of team event before getting his 10th offering a little bit high, leaving me 3-6. Ended up going 277 that game. He makes it 5 in a row.
Some last-minute fireworks here on this doubles and singles squad. Here comes, Aaron's getting giddy. Goes high, the 3-6. No paperwork for Tim Mack today.
Still a big number out there. 790 still available with a conversion. Big 2100 as well.
Still be in the 2160s. Better than his 10-game Masters totals on the championship lanes. Could also be a high road that he's throwing. I heard some talk about that yesterday. Bauerle looking for 6 in a row. If I'm not mistaken, he's had 300 here before.
Actually, I think so. Maybe, I would say it's been a while.
It's been a few years.
93 maybe? Let me pull out the sheet here to make sure, but. Let's see here. Got Mark Sullivan with a 299 game during his team event in 2002. It's unbelievably difficult to get through. Let's see, Steve Lang had a 300 in singles in 1989. Of course, it's the last sheet I'm trying to pull up here.
While you do that, Nick Hoagland and Dylan Murphy to our right still striking. Nick can finish with 280. Dylan can go out 11 in a row for 277 after an open in the first.
Yes, John Bauerle in his second tournament back in 93. 300 in singles for 776. And a 2156 all events total. Not too shabby.
Well, he'll be a little bit short in the singles and all events totals, but certainly another 300 on his record would be pretty exciting.
Exciting for all of our folks tuning in as well. Folks from back home checking in on the live stream. John Riffle. Be rolling out here in a little bit. Liking the angles Tim Mack is playing. Thinks he can keep up with it rev-wise.
Riffle's gonna wheel it and deal it, huh?
Alongside your boy Steve Brinkman.
Bauerle goes through the face for 7 in a row. I don't know. I think Brinkman might be a little too experienced to get that deep, but we'll see. He's a little bit more brittle than he used to be. A little bit of a crowd on hand here.
Getting ready for the next squad coming up, I would imagine.
Potentially, we are in the way, depending on how many teams are on the next squad.
Hoagland's going to finish up 258 for 627. Be a nice overall number for him. Be in the 2060 range.
Looks like the next squad's going to go all the way to lane 60. So we are packing them in here.
Murphy's still stringing strikes. 776 still out there. Well, he didn't shoot 600 this year.
Yeah, he was pretty disappointed about yesterday's team event, only shooting 550, and I joked around with him that don't worry about it, that's the hard pattern anyway. And he certainly is making this pattern look nice. Almost gets 11 in a row. 276. 775.
Wowza.
Should be just outside of the top 5.
.775, currently good for 7th place.
There's the comeback kid, Dylan Murphy from Indianapolis. Nice run there. John Bauerle, 7 in a row. Quietly looking for 8.
Gets one break, but makes enough to 710 there. But
saw our singles leader, Lewis Jenkins, on his 11th shot for 300. Rolls the 710. Wasn't even looking at the 10 pin, so he watched the 7 go down, and everybody cheered. That's the only way he realized that the 10 had also gone down. And then he stepped back up and delivered one more great shot for 300 on his way to the singles lead with 826.
that will knock Tim Mack out of a chance at the top 10 in singles here. Still had 770 up there. Now makes his max score with a spare and 3 more strikes, 759. 7:59, 21:35. Still available for Tim Mack. That would be a top 10 all events number.
Imagine if he'd been to all the events over the years since he's been out there beating up on people all over the world. He's got to put up some numbers here. No doubt he will end his career with an eagle or two.
Bauerle back on track in the 9th. So it's 279 out there. You can get up to 699 for singles. For the backhaul direct crew, Jack Laffey 701, Steve Harmon 614, Brian Walker 590, Nick Hoagland 627, and of course Dylan Murphy moving into 6th in singles. 775. There were two pairs to our right here. 53 and 4th. National Bowling Stadium just wrapping up, starting the 10th frame. This our final game. Disappointing result there for Tim Mack. 2-8-10 in the final frame. Wonder if that was for 30 clean as well.
It's not over yet.
Bring in the heater, Ricky. So 7:33 looks like 21:09 unofficially.
That just out of the top 10. See, I pay attention now. Actually look like a Storm Anarchy in Tim Mack's hand, something a little bit older. Bauerle gets the first one on the 10th. Still looking for 279. 3 in a row for Franzetti.
Apparently I wasn't close at all.
All right, there you have it, Tim Mack, the High Road and the Fusion today here in doubles and singles. Hard to tell sometimes from our vantage point, and always helps to ask, but there it is, world. For those of you who were curious.
All right, looks like we're just 2 shots away here. Final shot for John Bauerle. 268, 688 in singles here. Steve Lang, 572. Tim Mack, 733 for 2109 unofficially. Mark Sullivan, 603. Mike Lish, 651 with 1 more strike. Lou Franzetti be at 642. Here's the final offering on 53 and 4. A 9-pin for Lou to finish the day. 224. 641. So that concludes our live stream for today. Matt Cannizzaro, I'll let you take it away from there.
And there it is, folks, our final look at the scoreboard for today. Aaron gave you the rundown of the scores. Tim Mack leading the way, 733. John Bauerle, a little bit of excitement there in game number 3 with the front 7, finishes with 268, so nice finish for him, 688 series. And you're right, Mr. Smith, that is going to do it for today's broadcast. And now we're going to get ready to head over to the Women's Championships and do a few things over there and watch the rest of the action here at the National Bowling Stadium. So a lot of bowling going on in Reno today. If you're out and about, come check it out. Some great bowlers on the lanes, and that's going to be the news for now. So until next time, we'll see you on the lanes.